All right, that's another episode of Dad Can We Talk. I'm your host, Anthony Ray, and I want to welcome to the show a husband, a father of four, a semi-retired DJ. We got to talk about that.
Yeah, we can.
A man of God, a jack of all trades, co-host of Meet the Mitchells, founder of Better Husbands, Better Fathers, straight out of the streets of East Tampa, my man Jeff Mitchell. Welcome
Yeah,
to the
man.
show.
Yeah,
How you
thank
doing,
you.
bro?
Thank you. Yeah, straight out of East Tampa. Lucio represent. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, on Dad Can We Talk, I always like to start each episode off with this same question. I like to know, what was your relationship like with your dad?
Man, that's a good question. My father and I. I'm gonna start and then go in reverse. I guess I should say. My
Yeah.
father and I have a good relationship now. It's not great, but it's good. That took a lot of work. That
Yeah.
took a lot of work to get there. Because if I back up to the start of it, if I go all the way to the beginning, our relationship wasn't great. So my dad and my mom didn't have a great relationship. I saw some of it as a young man. I saw them fight. I saw him handle her in ways that I wouldn't want a woman handled. I wouldn't want my daughter handled. I didn't want my mom handled. I saw him treat her and do things to her that really are not things that I ascribe to. Honestly, I tell people all the time that I'm probably the guy I am, the husband I am, the father I am, because I never wanted to be like my dad.
That's real.
And it's sad because I mean, my dad, don't get me wrong, my dad has become a better guy now. But then the stuff then was stuff that I was always just like, man, I don't want any part of that in my life.
That's real.
So we didn't have a great relationship. We actually went some years once I got to high school where I didn't even want to talk to my dad, especially once I went off to school. When my mom and dad first got divorced, my dad would come and get us for the weekends. The first time he tried to, I said no.
Yeah.
And my other siblings went, and I was like, no, I ain't going. The next time he came, my grandfather, who really is like my father, my grandfather came and he talked to me. Said, son, one day you're going to be a dad. Don't treat your dad like that. You don't understand. You need to go with your father. And I was like, because granddaddy said so, okay, I'm going. And our relationship started to repair some. I could see him more and be more positive with him then. But then as I see him continue to kind of be like a womanizer as I was growing up in high school and that kind of stuff. And then when I went away to college in that time, I just, no animosity really, but I just was like, man, I ain't trying to be around my father like that. We talked here and there every once in a while, but I just kept him on the periphery.
Yeah, that's real, man. And I like how you say that. I think it's a very important thing. Even when we do have those, even when our fathers aren't the best examples at times, I'm always trying to encourage other men, to not allow that pain and that hurt to affect you, especially once you become. I talk to some young guys who aren't fathers yet, and I always tell them that same stuff. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I feel you, that your dad may have done this, or may not have done that, but you don't want that to affect you as you start having children, because, bro, it's real, bro.
So that's what happened for us. That's what really brought our relationship back together. When my wife and I had our first, and he's 15 now.
Wow.
My son, I would take my son to see my mother, all that kind of stuff. And when we first had him, I remember, I want to say it might have been my wife. I think it might have been my wife who was like, don't you think you should say something to your father? Don't you think you don't want your son to have a grandfather the way you have a grandfather? And it hit me because my grandfather was like my father. Yeah. And I was thinking to myself, man, even though I don't plan to ever be like my dad in my son's life, I do want him to have a relationship with his grandfathers the way I had a relationship with my grandfather. So at that point, I was in Tallahassee at that time in school. Well, I was finishing school. I drove down to Tampa to see my father, and we had a conversation, a pretty frank conversation. I said some stuff, and I kind of went off, man. Like I went off, and it was the first time my father was a hothead, real like angry dude. I was expecting for us to fight. Like once I said all I had to say, I thought I was going to punch in the mouth and we were just going to go at it.
Yeah.
And he kind of stopped and was like, "Son, you're right." Yeah. And I was like it took me back. Like it really was like, he said, "You're right." And then we kind of started to build our relationship there. And I was able to tell him, hey, I have a son and all that kind of stuff, so that we could then try to rebuild our relationship and grow. And we've done that. We are not, I wouldn't say we have the typical or the greatest father-son relationship, but we have a good relationship. We go to ball games together. We talk, at times when we can. Of course, we still guys, so we ain't calling each other every day. We not, not like how women do, but birthday comes, we talking. If a month or two go by, we don't talk. Somebody calling somebody. Matter of fact, he's gonna be coming up here for Labor Day, up to Atlanta to see me. And we're gonna hang out. My sister's up here. We all gonna hang out. So it definitely has changed and grew over the years. And I'm telling you, man, grandkids did that to him.
Yeah,
grandkids softened him, and he sees things a little differently, man.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Hey, that's good news, and I think that's something that I know a lot of men, when they hear that, that can be something that's encouraging. And yeah, man, I appreciate that, because I just, me personally, I love hearing those types of stories, because I have a similar story with my pops, and I just like to hear when other men go through that same thing. And it all just gives me hope to know that even though, we still could be rocky at times, that, one day, I believe that we'll be just how it should have always been, know. So I'm still pushing though. I'm still pushing with it, man.
Hey man, keep praying and keep working at it, man. And I mean, the same with me, man. We continue to work at our relationship, because it's never going to be, well, I can't say never, God can do all things, but at this point, it's still not fully organic. We gotta, I have to create some stuff, for us to kind of, come to where we need to be. We still do a whole lot of talking about sports, as men do, just to stuff off, to, have real conversations. But we have real conversations, man. I actually, about a year and a half ago, as a preacher, as a pastor, I was, I think I preached a sermon. I think that's what happened. I preached a sermon about, or my pastor might have preached a sermon about it. And we were teaching Bible study, but something about, if we say we love our family, why don't we preach the gospel to them? Who in our family do we know might not know the gospel? And if you haven't preached the gospel to them, do you really love them? And I remember hearing that and thinking to myself, I know my father knows about God. I don't know if he actually knows God. Yeah. In that moment, man, like I started to tear up. I got in my car and I drove to his house. Yeah. Oh, and of course I got there. He was like, "Hey, son," because it wasn't, it was like 9, 10 o'clock at night. He gets up early. He's a truck driver. He gets up like 2, 3 in the morning to drive. So he's like, "What's going on? You all right or whatever?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." I walk in and I'm kind of gingerly trying to get to where I need to, and I was just like, "Hey, I was and I was just thinking, I had a friend who, at that point I had a friend whose father passed, and his father didn't know God. So all of that was coming together, and I said, Dad, I told him about my friend, and I said, I had to come say to you, I had to know, do you believe Jesus is who he said he was?" And he kind of looked up and he was like, "Of course I do. And, I know I don't live like it, and, I ain't always, but I know who God is. I know God loves me, and I love him, and I want to try to live better, and I know I need to work at it and all that, but, of course I do." And I said, "Well, that's all I need to know." At that point, I said, "Now, don't get me wrong. I want your life to look like it. I want your life to look like it. And I want you to work through that. but you know, I just needed to know this. And you know, that was freeing, you know, just hearing that too.
That's real. So with that relationship with your dad, how has that affected your relationship now that you've become a dad yourself? How has that affected your relationship with your own children?
It's funny, man. I'm actually and I think you know this, I'm writing a book. I'm actually gonna be finished by the end of this year. And it's called Lessons from Our Fathers.
Yeah.
And really what it's about is the fact that because my dad wasn't a father to me at the fathering age, I had other fathers taught me. As I've been writing the book, what I learned is that my father taught me things too. There's stuff in there about that, and not that he taught me good things, but he also taught me a bunch of things that I didn't want to do.
That's real.
That I didn't want to do.
Real.
So in my children, that's one of the things I've learned from him is there's some stuff that he did that I absolutely did not want to do and did not want to be for my kids. So I think that my relationship with him informed me of those kinds of things. Again, like I said earlier, I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't be doing the stuff I do.
Yeah, that's real. That's
Yeah.
real, man. So you say you got a 15-year-old. How old are your other children?
Yeah, man, I got a 15, 13, 9, and 5.
Ooh, so you got 2 teenagers in the house.
Yeah, man. Teenagers. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So my question is, I ain't got to that point yet. What should I be looking for as far as the teenage years goes?
So you got a son and a daughter, right?
I got 2 daughters and a son. My oldest daughter is 7.
Okay, 2 daughters and a son. Okay. So your oldest daughter is your oldest kid.
Yep.
All right. So I'll tell you this. The teen years are different for guys and girls so far from what I know. Again, you know, 15 and 13, I'm at the beginning.
Yeah.
But what I can tell you, man, is that, you know, that puberty, those teenage years are a time of change. You know, my son is becoming a man. You know, he is learning things about himself. He's growing in certain ways. There are certain things that he exhibits that I have to talk to him more about, that me and him have to have more conversations about as he grows and has more feelings and things are coming as that testosterone pushes up in him.
Yeah.
We have to have a little more conversations, you know, about that. My daughter, you know, is starting to bloom.
Yeah.
And, you know, as a father, we like, look, man, put all that stuff away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody needs to see all that. Put that away. But, you know, even her, you know, there are changes in the way that they do things, the way that they feel, and how they talk and that kind of stuff. And you just got to be at that age. I feel like at this age, I'm paying even more attention to them than I had to pay to them when they were babies. Like, and I have to pay my 5-year-old and my 9-year-old. And it might not be that it's more, but the attention is different because of what they're going through and the happening in the world and just what's around them now. Of course, they start to get a friend group that can influence them, you know. And you have to watch for that stuff. Of course, yeah, they're gonna pick their own friends, but you got to continue to pour, you know, positive stuff in them and talk to them about it and make sure they are making informed decisions. Not too long ago, I just said to my son, because he did something that, you know, his mom told me about that I was like, really? You know, that's not like him. And I had to ask him, hey, did this happen? You know, your mom told me this happened. And he, you know, of course, first was like, yeah, it happened. And I was like, okay, well, we need to have a conversation about that. Where does that come from? You know, where did you learn that? Who are you hanging out with that talks about that? At the kind of person you want to be. You know, if you're learning that kind of stuff from your friends, are those the kind of friends you want to have? You know, so we have to walk through more of that, and a lot more of it is talking. A lot more of it is conversation. A lot more of it is, you know, enlightening. Whereas in the year, like when I was growing up, a lot of that stuff was just been a belt.
Yeah.
Like it just would have been, hey, you did pop, 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 and that's it. You know, but and not that there ain't some of that, there's some of that too. But there's much more of let's talk through it so that there's understanding about it. Because what I want you to do more than anything, not just do it because you fear me or you fear what people are going to think about or any of that kind of stuff. First of all, I want you to do what God tells you to do. Secondly, and what God obeys. But secondly, what I want you to do is understand why you do what you do.
Straight up. Straight
And
up.
that's what you have to look forward to in the teenage years.
Yeah. Please prepare me. Please, man.
Bring it.
And I see, I think you said what your son just got his license, right?
Yeah.
Well, how is that?
That man, so the first the first time I took him to drive, this gonna be a story I tell like I'm gonna be a old man telling a story. First time I took him to drive, I took him to a parking lot, and I had let him like move the car out of the driveway and stuff like that before back home in Tampa. But we're here in Atlanta. He needs to learn, so I take him to a parking lot, park that's closed, and I pull up in a certain place, nothing around him where he can drive. We talk about what driving is, and I'm like, all right, here you go. You get over in the seat, whatever. This, let's go. Because he had finished his driver's ed course. This dude drives, turns the corner, hits runs up on the curb, man, and blew the tire. And in a place that I had never seen before. Like, I'd never seen a hole like this before in a blown tire. And I was like, wow. So the first inclination I had was to be angry. Like, the first inclination was going to be like, man, get out of my car. So I did everything I could to beat that down, because I didn't want him, and I didn't want to give off that, and I didn't want him to feel like he had to be scared about driving. Because, everybody's got to drive, right? That's not what I wanted to do. It's a tire. Right? You get a tire fix.
Straight up.
So, I calmed that down. I got out. We laughed a little bit about it. And then I was like, all right, well, you finna get your first lesson to change the tire. So we went to change the tire. And get this, man, we started to change the tire, and it started raining. So we got drenched changing the tire. And then after we were done changing the tire, I'm sure he's thinking, all right, well, I blew it. We're going home. I was like, nah, man, you get over in that seat. We're going to continue this lesson.
Yeah, straight up.
And we did, man. And it was a great, honestly, man, he's really becoming a really good driver. He's when we go and we drive, he's much better. We're driving out on the streets now. He drove all the way to Krispy Kreme the other day from the house, like 9 miles away, and did a good job. A couple times I had to go like, hey, what you doing?
Yeah.
But it's coming together, man. It's something else.
And y'all up there in Atlanta too, boy. Oh my God. Boy. Man, bro. We were just up there like what, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And I literally hate driving out there, bro. I can't, I'm like, I just don't get it, man. The stuff that I be seeing, I'm like, man, I'm ready to go back home, man.
Everybody in a rush. Everybody want to run you over, man. And people, they want to honk if you don't know where you're going. Like, it's just not, this ain't Southern hospitality.
Yeah.
Ain't no Southern hospitality, around here, bro. Ain't none at all. And Atlanta, man, was one of the last places in the world I ever wanted to live.
Yeah.
Ever, man. But God, man.
Yeah. Straight up, man. Dang. So with that, I want to talk about the podcast you and your wife have.
Okay.
But first off, how long have y'all been married?
15 years.
15 years. So you in there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. We in there, and we've learned that we have become an elder statesman couple.
That's what's up, man. So about the podcast, Meet the Mitchells, man. When did y'all? What made you guys want to start that?
Really, man, we had just been talking about. We had started to venture into some entrepreneurial kind of things. We also run a consulting company and some other things, and radio is in my background. Like you said, I'm a DJ. I was a radio DJ. I was a tour DJ. Yeah. I was a club DJ. I did all that stuff for years. And I always wanted to kind of get back to doing some sort of radio in that way. And my wife was interested in it, and she said, "Hey, we should start a podcast. We can talk about our life and, faith and that kind of stuff. Since that's stuff we like to talk about in marriage. I was like, oh yeah, that sounds awesome. So, for like 2 or 3 years, we tossed that around that we were going to do it. And I kept just kind of, all right, yeah, we'll do it. And I just didn't jump on it. And then as wives do, one day my wife was like, yo, we doing this? Or we not? I'm tired of even talking about it. We're going to do it. So, when your wife pull at you like that, you got to be like, all right, I'm going to make this happen. We doing this.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, I got the equipment all together and we started doing it. So we've been doing it now, I think 2 years. We're I think going on. We don't do a weekly episode. We do every month. So we only have like 24 episodes so far, and all we do is talk about faith, family, and fulfillment. So a lot of the first year of our episodes are all about who we are, who our family, are. My mom, her dad, my sisters, like all those kind of, my sister and my brothers, like all those people come on, our kids come on, and we just talk about, life and family and that kind of stuff. And now we're venturing out into more kind of faith as in when it comes to popular culture. So family and how things are seen there. So we're talking about things like Jada and Will. We're talking about things like we're more than likely going to talk about what happened with like Nate Stallion and Tory Lanez. And I don't even know name, whatever his name is. But we're paying attention to that stuff and going to talk about that and how faith and family and that stuff come together. That's what we do.
Yeah, hey, that's what's up, man. Proud of y'all on that, bro.
Thank you.
I want to ask you about that though. What were your thoughts on the whole Jada and Will?
Oh man. So I want to say I know this kind of from what I hear, because I don't really pay all that much attention. I gotta be honest about that. I don't. Not like that. Not personal, that kind of stuff. Friends, I do, whatever. But from what I hear, I guess it had been a while that this whole thing with August Alsina was something. Like people thought that she was messing around and they were doing something or whatever.
Yeah.
And when he came out with what he said, and they were still, like, from what I heard, they were still trying to deny it. I remember talking with a friend of ours about it, and she knew all about it, was telling us all about it. I remember going, "Oh man, now she slept with the dude." He the way he talking, and from what dog talking about all that ain't, he didn't make that up. No, they had a relationship. So when they had their red table or whatever that was, I watched that for sure. I watched it. I wanted to know, because since they supposedly had been couple goals and all that kind of stuff, I wanted to know, hey, what's the deal?
Straight up.
So, for her to kind of, gloss over it. First of all, I think, was it cool? That don't gloss over something like that. Be straight up with it. And now, don't get me wrong, they didn't have to share it. That was their personal. They did not have to share that with the world. Of course, he pushed it out there, so they decided, hey, we need to come say something too. But I think one of the things that our culture, and when you take something from that, is we tend to find things so that we can glorify them and objectify them. And we saw the relationship, we saw the money that they made, their notoriety, and we glorified it. We objectified it. We looked at it and said, "Oh man, I want my life to be like that." Whereas somebody like me, not to disparage them in any sort of way, I always looked at their life and thought to myself, "Well, I don't know if I see Christ in their life."
That's real.
And for me, that's how I live. I want Christ to be seen from how I live, and not to say that they worshiping the devil or nothing like that. I ain't going into all that. But what I am saying is I didn't see Christ in their life. So I never looked at them as a way to say, oh, man, I want to be, do I want to have financial success or commercial success or business success in the way that they do as husband and wife? Maybe,
Yeah.
But what I don't want is their relationship in that way. I want the relationship my wife and I have the way God has it for us,
And that's one thing I was talking with my wife about, because like you say, I've never been like a big, I've never been a big celebrity type of person. Like, I mean, the only person I used to even like that was Allen Iverson, you know. And Allen Iverson, I liked him so much because he was real. You know, you could see his struggles. You know, you could see, you know, just how messed up what he was, but he always kept it real.
Yeah.
Like, so outside of Allen Iverson, really, it was like, I ain't too much of a big celebrity type of person.
Right, yeah.
And especially celebrity marriages. You know, I'm like, I don't know about all that stuff there. That ain't really my type of stuff, you know. So it was never a big, like you say, people say relationship goal. I'm like, not for me. Like, I'm good, you know, honestly. And it ain't to say that, you know, anybody else who do, that's them. I just always spoke for myself. I'm like, yeah, that ain't really my thing right there. You know, I know some people right here in Gainesville, Florida, that's more relationship goals to me than what I see on TV.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We my wife and I have couples that we look up to in that way. And that we could talk to and that we would go to, that to us are like, yo, that's what I want to be like. You know, they got their stuff together, been married 40 years. Not that they had struggles, but they're together, they've done it together. They, you know, that's what I'm looking at. And you know, not you know, entanglements and
yeah, all right.
not, you know, having outside folks and all that kind of stuff. Nah, I'm not interested in that. Nah, I'm all good.
At all, bro. So, what inspired you to start Better Husbands, Better Fathers?
Oh man, that really was, so a lot of what's happened in my life, man, in the last, I would say 10 years, all of it has been this intense searching for what God wants me to do, and then me just doing it. So I think I've learned and got to a place in my life where I just want to obey him. Because I know that in obeying him, that's where my blessing is. You know, and then when I'm blessed, others are blessed. So, because I'm able to bless others in that way. So I look at it. So what happened with that is I had already been working with a number of guys, you know, marrying couples and that kind of stuff. And one of the things I would do as I met with couples and as I would be able to talk to people, I have a pretty good discernment. Like I have a pretty good discernment to be able to say, this young man is dealing with this thing, and it's something God gave me. My wife, is funny, her friends now will bring guys around me so that they can later call me and say, all right, tell me what you got.
Yeah.
Because of my discernment. And that's all God. It's got nothing to do with me. I you know, whatever. So I thought, you know, from there, I've been able to talk to some guys and been able to say, hey, look, you know, man, I know this thing is you're struggling with and what's happening. You know, let me help you. Let me work through that with you. In the same way people have worked me through things, you know, for my life and whatever. And it's been a blessing to people. So I kind of put Better Husbands, Better Fathers on me. When I thought to myself, just thinking about families, man, we all just, the only way we're going to break these cycles and these curses and this supposedly, you know, young boys growing up without fathers and men in their families and all these women who are having kids out of wedlock and not married and that kind of stuff. The only way we're going to break that is if those of us who are husbands and are fathers become better fathers and better husbands.
That's real.
So that then we can work with others and show them that you can do this. You can do this, and not that you can do this, but you should do this. That God has called you to it, and that if He's called you to it, He's graced you for it, and that you will be good at it. So that's it, man. I just want to help guys be better husbands, better fathers, and I said it that way because we are husbands first.
All right.
We are husbands first. God gave us our wives forever.
All right.
Yeah, the scripture said that the two become one flesh.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be one flesh forever.
That's
that
real.
You leave and cleave. Same way that you left and you cleave your person, your children will leave and cleave.
That's real.
God didn't give you your children forever, He gave you your wife forever.
That's real.
So that's why we need to be better husbands. In turn, that'll make us better fathers also.
That's real. And see, and I get into that. I won't say an argument, but I have that conversation with a lot of guys. You know, sometimes I'm at work and somebody might ask me about that. You know, like how can you choose your wife over your children? And I'm like, I don't even like when you say it like that. Like,
Right.
It's like I just have there's a hierarchy in my home. You know,
Absolutely.
there's Christ,
Mm-hmm.
and there's me, then it's my wife,
Mm-hmm.
it's my children.
Right.
It is what it is.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
and everyone is gonna get loved properly.
Yep.
You know, the children gonna still get the love they need. My wife got to get her love. I understand all that, you know.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, and people think I'm crazy, and I'm like, man, I can lose a child and I can have another one. God forbid that happens. I don't want to lose none of them.
And God forbid.
But I can lose a child, but I can have another one. I ain't trying to have no other wife. And it is what it like. People be like, well, you can have another wife too. Nah, that's all I want. This one right here, after this one, hey.
Yeah.
After this one, I'll be like what Paul said. It's better for a man to just be hey. My time would totally be devoted to the Lord after that.
There you go.
You know,
there you go.
And that's how I look at it. But some people, man, they would look at you like you are like, bro, you mean to tell me, you know, then they try to put you in the scenarios like, you know, so if it's your wife hanging off a cliff and your children, like they could like that.
So that, you know, a lot of that stuff happens to us because the world has twisted God's view.
Yeah.
You know, God has an order. He has like you said, there's a hierarchy for things, right?
Yeah.
It's him first. And then the scripture tells us to love our wives the way Christ loved the church.
All right.
And sometimes people stop there, but it goes on to say, and gave his life for it.
All right.
If we're supposed to love our wives the way Christ loved the church and gave his life for it, that means we self-sacrifice and love for our wives.
That's real.
The scripture does not tell us to do that for our children.
All right. You don't see it nowhere, bro.
It's not there. Now, it does tell us how to love our children and how to raise our children. It does tell us that. But there's just different. There's different things, and the hierarchy is different. And it's hard for people who don't see the scriptures in the correct way to understand that, and they look at you like you're crazy. I know I've been there because I've talked to people. I've had couples that I've counseled say, you know what you guys' problem is? It's your kid. Why are you guys treating your kid better than you treat each other?
Yeah.
Like that. That's your problem. You gotta treat each other because look, your kids are gonna come out awesome and great if they see the love you have for each other. Because the love that you have for each other is gonna permeate down into them.
That's real. That's so real. And all this kind of leading to my next question. How has parenthood affected your marriage?
Oh man. So for us, it's really hard for us to be able to explain that to people because we've always been parents. Yeah. So we're one of those couples who didn't do it God's way and were parents before we were married.
Yeah.
So we knew we loved each other. We knew we wanted to be together. I actually felt like I knew my wife was my wife before she ever knew it. Like when I met her, I remember thinking to myself after we got to know each other, I was like, yo, that's it. I want her. Yeah. And we both were living in ways that God didn't want us to. And I think what God did for us, we believe in wholeheartedly, is that he brought us together by saying, all right, y'all gonna stop here. It's it. You ain't gonna keep doing that unless you're doing. Here it is.
Yeah.
And once that happened, it was like, oh, you're the one. Like, I see that. Let's do it. So we've always been parents. We actually, we're like at a point where we're like, we can't wait to not be parents.
Yeah.
like, and don't get me wrong. We love our children. You know, we got 13 more years. Like I said, we got a 5-year-old, but we gonna still be relatively young when that dude's gone. I mean, we're still kind of like, hey, yo. we looking forward to it. But one of the things I can say is because we had really good counseling, man, it's such a key when you get married to have good counseling. Because we had really good counseling, we understood from the beginning that we have to take care of us. That's the only way we're able to take care of them.
All right, that's real.
We strategically take time away from them and go on outings together. We strategically have our own vacations, just me and her. We strategically do stuff where it's her and I recharging, learning where we're at in the season, really dating each other. We strategically do that we can be good so that they can be good.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, being and I can see in a lot of the young couples who get married, especially those that's married for like 5 or 6 years before they have a kid, man, that kid wreck them. It changed his life. For them, they had been out and been in cosmopolitan parties and all. They doing all kinds of stuff, just having a blast. But then that kid coming to change things.
All right.
It changed things. So yeah, man, being a parent isn't your first call. Being a husband or a wife is.
That's real.
And I think if you remember that, the parenting kind of comes. It comes and you know that you'll be all right.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's real, man. So I want to go back to, I forgot to ask you this, when we were talking about your son and the license thing. Have you had that talk with him about getting stopped by the cops yet?
In kind of. So we haven't had those explicit talks. We talk about that stuff. If something comes up, I ask them about it. My wife and I will ask all our kids, what do you think about this or that kind of thing? And maybe if we're having to sit down dinner or something like that, we've had those kind of conversations here or there. But I have not had the talk yet. Once he's at the place, because right now he can't drive by himself. I'm in the car with him, if he's driving now. I believe once we get to the place where he's about to get his actual license and have to drive by himself, we'll have that talk. Yeah. But I know he already knows. I know we've already had those kinds of conversations and things close to that. I know he's already seen things and knows, in life, and been treated in ways that's not right, already in his life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of not looking forward to it. It's sad that we still have to have it.
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
Yeah.
So how do you and your wife deal with, I know y'all are on a, like I say, I still got, 7-year-old, 3-year-old, and 4-year-old. So it's certain conversations I can't really get to yet. But how have you guys navigated those conversations of racism and all of those sort of things? How have you guys navigated that as parents, dealing with, the adolescent years, those tween years, and now you're into the teen years.
Mm-hmm.
How have you guys dealt with those conversations?
We deal with them head on, man. Head on. And we're pretty, as things come up, if we need to talk about, we're pretty straightforward about it. We don't really sugarcoat. We tell things how it is. And then if it's hard to understand and walk through, we just lean into it as much as we can. And things that I don't understand, or I'll say I don't know why it's like that or how it's like that or whatever. I know it is, and I know this is how we have to live in life in that way. So we've the things we have had to talk about, we've dealt with them head on, straight up. My wife actually took my daughter to go take pictures out around Atlanta for her birthday. My daughter's birthday was June 12th. So they were riding around. She's a photographer, and they got to some of the places where there was protests up. Mm-hmm. And my wife took that time, right at that moment to talk to my daughter. Hey, what is all this about? So she started telling her whatever, and they had a full-on conversation about, George Floyd and what's happening in the world and why people are racist and why people are prejudiced and what we can do to combat it and what we should do and all that. Yeah, so straight on, man.
That's real. That's real. That's one of those things that I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm really ready to have those conversations because that stuff I talk about all the time. You know, when I'm at work and stuff, yeah, I got guys, they always coming to talk to me about all type of stuff. So I'm just I like, my wife would tell you, I like to run my mouth all the time. So I'm almost ready for my kids to get to the point where I can like really start pouring these conversations on them, because I be pouring them on everybody outside this house.
Yeah.
When I get the opportunity, man, I know cats be at the job be like, "What this dude here? I thought he was just gonna be chilling." Man, I can tell my supervisor, "Hey, you got a new person coming? Let me train him."
Yeah.
You know, and we get in that mind and we go to, you know, I talk with him about the job at first.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, one of them conversations come up. I'd be like, "Huh?" You know, I'd be ready. You know,
Say, okay.
I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I like to have those conversations, and I like to see where people are, you know, where their mind is, and I'm just so ready, bro. You know, honestly, I'm just ready to be able to start laying these conversations on them, you know, and just let them know what's real, you know, because I just feel like, you know, I think in the world, you know, just in society, sometimes people sugarcoat, you know, in school, they're going to sugarcoat it with you, you know, just out in general, people like to sugarcoat things. They're sugarcoated on the television. And I'm like, man, I'm just going to be 100% real.
Yeah.
You either going to like it or you're not going to like it.
Right.
That ain't really my concern. Like, I just got to be real with you so that you're aware and understand and know what is what. Because I just, like I say, I think about that stuff all the time. Like, man, I wish my daughter was like a little older. You know, we had with my 7-year-old, she asked me little questions and stuff, and I keep it real with her right now, but I'm like, I can't wait until she can like really start to comprehend and then start asking me those, you know, to keep digging deep. Well, what about this, Daddy? Oh, I cannot wait, bro.
Yeah.
I can't wait. So
yeah. Be ready for the hard ones. Hard conversations gonna come.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's the type, and see, and that's the stuff I like, you know, because like, okay, I've been training a young guy at work, and he mentioned something about his dad, and I was like, who's your dad or whatever, and I found out his dad used to work at the job.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, okay, I don't know him, like personally know him, but I've had little small conversations with him before. And he was like, yeah, I ain't never even met him. Like, he was like, well, I don't even know my dad. I was like, huh? And I was like, in my mind, I'm thinking, dang, his dad is a preacher. And then he started saying, he was like, yeah, you know, so that's why I don't really go to church, because, you know, my dad is a preacher, and you know, people in the church do this. So I'm like, oh, one of these ones. You know, I could feel him so much about a lot of the stuff that he was saying. I could understand a lot of what he was saying. He was just being honest. And he's like, you know, my dad, because of what how I seen my dad treat me growing up, you know, and he totally disowns me and this and that. But he be talking about God all the time and how good this is. And I'm like, I feel you, bro, but don't let that anger and that hurt turn you away from God, because your dad ain't got nothing to do with that. That's what your dad did. That ain't what God did, no.
Right.
You know, I was just trying to help him navigate through that, and all the while I could still feel him on what he was saying too. I'm like, and he was asking me a lot of hard stuff, you know, like, well, why would God do this? And I'm like, bruh, man, we all messed up, bro. You know, and it's a hard thing to hear a young man. He's 21 years old, and he was like, the only reason I came out here because I thought I was gonna run into my dad. And it hurt me. It bothered me, man. For the last few days, I just been thinking about it, you know. And I got the young man number, and you know, I've been texting him, and you know, just trying to keep him encouraged. Just like, dang, you know, for me, it kind of took me back. Like, man, I would have never expected that from this dude. Like I say, I ain't know him personally, but me and him, we talked about the word. You know, I'll pass by him and he'll ask me something about whatever, and we just kind of go to talking about the word or whatever.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like a guy I would have never expected that he got children out there that he don't do anything for. And I'm like, dang.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it was a big shock. But like I say, I was so ready for that conversation when it came up. I was like, oh, yeah. And, you know, he had all these questions about, you know, the Bible and, you know, the church. And I was like, yeah, let's talk about it, bro. I ain't scared. You know? All right, let's go. You know, I helped him understand a few things, and he enlightened me on a few things, you know, because my question to him was, you know, like I was telling him, one trend that I see in the church right now is you don't see a lot of young, especially a lot of young black men, like a lot of young black men in the church. Like you don't really see that in the church right now. You see a lot of them leaving, especially when they had parents grow up in it. A majority of them leave from what I've seen. And I started asking him, you know, like speaking for your generation, like what is it, bro? Like what is it about the church that is turning y'all away? And he was just real with me, you know, and he was just like, you know, we feel like y'all don't be real, bro. Like we don't feel like y'all keep it real with us. And we don't feel like y'all really care about us. Like only thing y'all care about is y'all look at us like we're numbers. You know, y'all care about when we come, y'all just want to see us in the church so that y'all can say, look at this young man came off the streets and now he in here in you know, in service. He was like, but while we're in service, ain't nobody getting to know us and understanding us. And really, it was like, so I can go to church, but who's gonna take the time to really get to know me and really like have that relationship with me that's not, young man, pull your pants up, you know, every time you see me. And I was like, hey, I can't even argue with it, bro, because I've seen it I've seen it too many times. Yeah. And just having that conversation with that young man, you know, we talked for half of the day. We ain't get no work done that day. But it was so real, you know, the conversations we were having, and I appreciated him.
You got work done. You just ain't get the job work done. You got work done.
Yeah. So yeah, I can't wait, bro. I literally, man, I think about that stuff so much, man. Like just being able to have those conversations with my children, you know, especially I can't wait till my son get older. Oh my God, bro. It's gonna be on. It's gonna be on.
Nothing like it, man.
I want to go. Why is physical fitness so important for you and your family?
So, man, I really about. So it's important for me, especially now. Maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, I got to the point, man. I had got to the point where I was over like 300. I was 320 pounds almost.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I don't even know if my son remembers this, but he came home maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and he asked me to play with him outside. And I couldn't. I was just tired. I was beat, man. And really a lot of it was, you know, my joints hurt. I was tired because I was carrying so much weight. And from somebody who was a high school athlete, always had been an athlete, I couldn't believe I was at the point where I can't even go outside and play with my kid.
Yeah.
You know? So at that point, both me and my wife, you know, I talked to her about it, and we were like, yo, we can't keep living like this. Then we had to find something. We had to figure something out, man. So we found a nutritionist and health coach, helped us understand our you know, food patterns and the things that we needed to change to, you know, getting rid of a lot of sugar, getting rid of a lot of those refined starch carbs, you know, in our life, really eating whole and healthy, you know, kind of food. Just trying to stay away from fast food and fried food and all that kind of stuff, man. A lot of the stuff that in our culture we love, you know, just need to stay away from. You know, I was having a conversation with some guys before, and it made me think, you know, we were talking about the fact that, you know, growing, you know, if you go back 70, 80 years, a lot of what those folks ate back then was all, they grew it. They grew it all. You know, even my grandfather had a hog farm. Even his hogs, he fed them. You know, he slaughtered them. He took care of that. He knew what was in them. Like he did all that kind of stuff. And even though they might have had what felt like Sunday dinner every day, they was out in the field working, right? They was out doing stuff, not sitting at desks. So they was putting those kind of calories in, but they were working it off. We kept doing like that, and we started to work in offices and sitting at desk and all that kind of stuff. And that's how we got to be obese, you know. So because we aren't doing that stuff no more, we have to change where we eat, you know. So I'm eating things like, you know, some protein chips, you know, that are a good lean protein for me. Drinking, you know, half a gallon of water a day, kind of thing, because I want to be healthy. I want to be here, you know, and I know that God's numbered my days. He knows when I'm going to go. But what I'm not going to do is contribute to me going earlier, of not being able to live a full life the way I should be able to while I'm here. So that's why it's so important to me, man. You know, if I get to a certain point, you know, with my weight, I'm instantly changing what I'm doing and get where I need to be, man. Because I'm not gonna be that again. I'm never gonna be that guy again.
That's real, man. I be feeling bad about, you know, like right now, man. All my life, bro, I've been in between 150 and 160. That's been my, you know, from high school maybe until like last year. I've always just been 150, 155, 160. Every time I check, I'm like, bro, I'll never change. And then just now this year, bro, like I went up to 180, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
that metabolism
like,
change.
this here kind of, it feels different, bro. You know, it, like you say, I'm like even with just that little weight on me, that's heavy, bro.
Yeah.
You know, if anybody know me, know I always been skinny. I've been skinny all my life. I'm talking about real deal. That was all I heard from my whole life. Like, you need to get some meat on them bones. No, I'm like, shoot, boy, I'm trying to get back. I want to go back to 155, you know. I used to always be like, I feel good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I felt light on my feet.
Yeah.
You know, when I would go ball, I run all day. That was my trademark. Boy, I ain't never stopping. I'ma run all day long.
Yeah.
Now, man, I ain't balled in a whole year now. Probably longer than that. Probably about a year and 2 months now.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know when I went to the gym last week. I got on that treadmill for a quick second, and I did the little ab machine. Bro, I probably was only in there maybe 20 minutes. I'm like, I ain't do nothing today. Well, I woke up that next morning so I'm like,
yeah,
I ain't even do nothing.
Yeah.
And it just showed me like, bro, I'm that out of shape to the point to where like I barely went to the gym and did anything. I'm talking about, man, I couldn't even move at work last week. You know, and I'm talking about training the young guy. That was one of the reasons I was ready to run my mouth too, because I was so dang sore. I'm like, I don't really feel like working, bro. Let's talk.
Yeah. I'm in the process of a little bit of training right now. I'm doing some chest and arm and core stuff, man. So I'm feeling it myself, man. Right here.
Yeah.
Right here, man. From 100 curls and pull-ups a day, man. I'm feeling it, you know, here.
Yeah.
You know, I see it and it, you know, it looks good, but I feel it. You know, I feel it. So, I get you. I get you, man. But yeah, man, gotta be healthy, man. Want to be around. You know, I want to see my grandkids. I want to see my great grandkids. I want to, and not just see them. I want to be able to be in my right mind and talk to them and walk around with them. I want to be there. You know.
That's real, man. That's real. I want to ask you this question. This is one of my fun questions.
Okay.
What TV dad are you most like, and which is your favorite? Out of all the TV dads out there.
Oh man, I don't think I've ever thought about it. Oh man, what TV dad am I most like? And what TV dad am I most like? I don't know, man. Like I have no idea. I want to say that I strive to probably be like Heathcliff Huxtable. But I
Yeah,
think we all probably strive to be like Heathcliff Huxtable, right? We all want to be more like him. Um, I don't know who I'm more because the question was
who are you most like, and which one is your favorite? What's your
which
favorite?
one am I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I would say I'm probably most like in my mind. I'm trying to be most like Heathcliff Huxtable, and that's probably my favorite.
Yeah,
It really it killed me for Cosby to be going through what he's going through, what he did, man. Um, and everything that he's getting, he deserves if he's done those things, But for a lot of us growing up, man, he was our father figure.
yeah,
He was who there are so many people with college degrees because of a different world.
yeah,
Different world showed us that we can go to college.
yeah,
The Cosby Show showed us that there were, Black families that, were professionals and were wealthy and living well and all that. So yeah, man, he's probably the one that I look at and I'm like, oh, and then probably the close second would be Fresh Prince dad, right?
yeah,
Uncle
yeah,
Phil. He'd probably be the second, or my guy from Family Matters.
yeah. Oh, that was my boy right there.
Yeah.
Hey, Family Matters was my show. Yeah,
Yeah. It's true. Me too, man.
yeah,
And I would probably, I'm probably more like Family Matters dad, but I want to be like the Huxtables.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's real. So, knowing everything that you know right now at your age, what advice would you give to the 18-year-old version of yourself?
Man, really, and I think about this often. The only advice I would give my 18-year-old self is, it would all be about investing my money.
Yeah,
So I did really. I honestly were one of the young folks that did really well. I was a part owner of a company at that age already. I was a DJ already, traveling, making money. I had more money than I knew what to do with, and because of that, at a young age, I didn't do well with it. I don't have any of it now.
yeah,
So I would tell myself, my 18-year-old self, hey, what you have, find a stock that's going to hit and invest it. And of course, I would tell myself to invest in Apple and Amazon and those things now that are multi-million-dollar kind of companies, billion-dollar companies actually.
yeah.
Um,
Man, I
but
think yesterday I seen something. I was looking at the little stock thing on my phone, and I think if I was reading it right, it looked like Apple was like trillion.
yeah, they're the first company to be worth $1 trillion.
Dang, man, just yesterday, bro, I was looking at that, and I'm like,
Yep.
I don't know if I'm reading this right.
No, you're reading it right. First company to be worth $1 trillion.
Wow.
That company, yeah. So that those are the things. If I go back to my 18-year-old self, I'd be like, look, man, because I think about it. At 19 or 20, I tell people this all the time. My wife tells people this too. At 19 or 20, I was touring and doing so well. Now maybe it's 2021, whatever it was. I was doing so well that I probably made $100,000 as a 19, 20-year-old
Wow.
in college,
Crazy.
traveling, DJing, all that kind of stuff. I probably made. I don't know what happened to that money. I have no idea what happened that year. I have a pretty good idea. I ate most of it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Going out to eat and then being on the road and touring and doing pubs and that kind of stuff. Man, I would buy a new outfit just because it was a big night at a club.
Yeah.
I was DJing. And nobody saw me. I'm in the DJ booth. Like I would seriously, man, bro, I would go and buy a new pair of Air Force Ones, have a T-shirt made with my name and all that stuff on it, because back then that was the thing,
Yeah.
So I got DJ J-Rock and it's glittered up and all that kind of stuff. And that shirt cost $50, and then I buy a new hat, and all that kind of stuff to wear. I spend $300-400 on an outfit that I'm going to a club that I'm making $1,000 at. I spent half of what I'm making,
Yeah.
on the outfit I'm going to, so I would, that's what I would do. I tell myself to be very wise and invest that money, because if you invest that money and you're wise about it, you won't have to work another day in your life.
All right. Yeah. Ooh, I wish, boy, I wish. So if there's if there's a young father out there listening right now, what advice would you give him? Just one piece of advice you would give one young father out there that's listening.
The biggest piece of advice I have for a young father that's listening is don't quit.
Yeah.
Don't quit. Don't quit. No matter what is going on, no matter how, because I know a lot of fathers quit because they say baby mamas won't let them see kids and all that. Don't quit. Don't quit. Always fight for your children. Fight for them. Fight to see them. Fight to be in their lives. I'm telling you, it will come back to you. It will pay you back because God created you for it. God has graced you with it. He didn't give you children and then not give you the capacity to deal with them. Now, it may take you to have to learn some more, or it may take you to have to lean on him some more, but all he wants you to do is to not quit. Don't quit. I mean, whatever you do, there's been way too many of us that have quit on our children. Don't quit.
That's real. Man, you're like the third or fourth person that said that on this podcast when I asked that question. So for any young father out there listening, this ain't the first person that said that. So obviously it's something that y'all might need to be listening to, man. And it's always something that I can concur with.
Yeah.
Don't quit.
No matter how hard, and I get it, man. I've seen some of the stories. In my own family, we got stories of, she making it so hard for him to be a father and all that. But man, look, it's worth it. It's what your kids need you. Your daughter needs to see a man that loved her. She needs to see your example, and your son needs to see a man that's doing it the right way, that loves him, that he can have an example of. They need you, man. And you do not quit. No matter how hard she makes it, how hard whoever makes it, don't quit.
That's real, man. That's so real. So I'm gonna go into this last question, man. I just kind of want to throw this out there, man. Who you got winning? Who you got winning this NBA championship, man?
Man, I don't know, man. Like, so I did one of those little graphs, and I got to the end where I think I have LA versus Boston.
Yeah,
that's what I think. And when I say LA, I'm saying the Lakers.
Yeah,
I got the Lakers versus Boston in the finals. But man, those Celtics look tough, man.
Yeah, they look good right now, boy.
Jason Tatum is looking like, and Kimba looking like he's on a mission.
Yeah.
I think the Clippers need more from Paul George.
Yeah, man, he playing so trash, bro.
I think they need much more from Paul George. And I gotta say, man, I never believe in Houston. Never believe in Houston. I just don't think I like well, I can't say that. I don't really like James Harden's game. I can't deny his game. Say that. I can't deny it. He is probably one of the most prolific scorers we've ever seen in the league. Don't enjoy his game. I don't like the way he plays. But what I've seen throughout the years is he disappears in big moments, man. He ain't no assassin when it comes to can you close him out. Golden State closed him out a number of times. All
right. Straight up.
So I don't know, man. I feel like the Lakers are going to get there. I think secondly, it could be the Clippers. Yeah. I still don't rule out the Mavericks. They're starting to show something. But I think on the East, nobody has a chance but Boston.
Yeah. I like the Raptors too.
I like the Raptors.
I'm surprised by them. I thought they were gonna be trash this year.
Nah, I knew they were gonna be good.
Yeah.
I knew they were gonna be good because Kawhi only put them over the hump.
Yeah.
They were already a good team. He just gave them a guy. They needed a guy to take them to the next level, and he was the guy.
Yeah.
And I think they're missing the guy again. I thought Pascal Siakam was gonna step up.
Yeah, he all right.
Yeah.
He all right, bro. I like you say, I think it's either Raptors or Boston. I don't really believe in Milwaukee like that, man.
Nah.
I can't see it. I don't
until
know what
Giannis
it
can
is about them.
sincerely shoot the ball,
Yeah,
Giannis has to get a shot, man. Until he can sincerely shoot the ball, until he can,
yeah,
really have a pull-up jumper, he's got to get something that's much more reliable, like LeBron had to do, right?
yeah,
After those first couple of years, LeBron had to find a reliable shot, and he
yeah.
found that. Found a little mid-range, even got a 35, 36% three-pointer. Giannis got to find that, because if Giannis don't find that, he'll keep packing in the paint, and
It's over. He gonna have to go somewhere else and go join somebody. Or because with what he going with him, just him
yeah,
with no shot,
yeah.
he ain't
He
got
better
no
go work
shot.
out with KD. If I was him, I'd be saying, hey, KD, I need to come work out with you and learn how you shoot the ball like that at your size, because I need to be
Yeah,
able to do that.
but
Think
you know
about it.
him.
KD,
He like I don't do that.
KD is unstoppable, boy.
Yeah,
He cooking. He's
yeah,
unstoppable. You can't do that with. He can rise up above you. He's taller than you. He got handled like he's 6 foot tall. He's got
yeah.
handled like he'll look dude. You can't do nothing with him.
All right. Yeah, boy. So I don't, man. I think the Clippers played 3:30. So
Yeah,
I'm ready to watch that there, man. See what they're gonna do today.
yeah.
But I think going forward, the Sixers, which is my team, which they trash. Man, we need to get rid of Joel Embiid. I want him out of there, man.
Really?
I
I
want him.
like too well.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I just been so since Allen Iverson, bro. I don't know what. I've been heartbroken ever since then, man. Ever since we traded, bro. I don't know what to do with myself as far as NBA no more, man. I'm just like, dang, I just want the Sixers to just be good again, man. They just
Y'all shot was last year. If Joel Embiid gets just a little taller and blocks that shot, y'all in the finals.
Yeah.
I mean, that really, I think, is what would have happened, and they might have been able to win. I mean, considering what happened with Golden State.
All right.
They might have been able to win, but that ball bounced around. And
that hurt, boy.
Oh yeah.
That hurt.
But I tell you what, man, I think Ben Simmons being out for you guys, that's what's hurting you right now. If you had Ben Simmons, you had a chance. But then Ben also, he's just like Giannis. You got to find a shot.
Yeah.
You got to find you can't play in this league, but not anymore, and not be able to shoot the ball. You can't do it.
Yeah.
Even 7-footers shoot the ball.
All right. Yeah, I don't know what to say about my team, man. I just be disappointed. Every time I look at this TV and I see Philly, I turn the TV on. I don't even want to watch them jokers play, man. I don't even want to watch them, man.
I understand, man. I understand.
That hurt, bro. But yeah, man, I definitely appreciate you coming on, man, and
I enjoyed
a little time with me.
I enjoyed it, man. Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, man. So, man, you continue to keep me updated, man, with all the better father, better husband,
absolutely
stuff, man, and we're gonna continue to push, man. We're gonna continue to stay connected. I need brothers like you in my life, man.
Absolutely,
to be able to reach out to if I ever need you. I need that, bro.
Yeah. I'm here, and I'll tell you what, man. God's kind of giving me a vision for something that I'm gonna call you on, man. I want to get some guys together, and we're gonna do. You heard it here first. We're gonna do a prayer call or a prayer hour, sometime in September, just for husbands, man, for husbands and fathers.
Yeah.
Together. And we're just gonna cover all husbands and fathers and spend 30, 40 minutes doing it and get as many people on the call as we can and just do it, man. So I'll be reaching out to you, man, and anybody I can. I'm gonna put something out soon about it, man, just because, the truth of the matter is our power is in prayer, bro. Our power is in prayer. So
that's real.
Yeah.
That's real, man. Well, yeah. For everybody out there listening, if y'all want to find this brother, if y'all want to find this, go find this podcast and go subscribe to it. The one with his wife is called Meet the Mitchells.
Yes, please.
Y'all on all platforms, right?
All platforms. Yes, sir.
All platforms. So go and find Meet the Mitchells. on any platform that you can find a podcast on. Go and subscribe, man. Continue to check it out. Go on Facebook. Are you still allowing men to join the group? As far
So we are, and honestly, the group is about to open up for any man who is a husband or father to be in it, because we're going to start putting some more content on it. I know you've seen I've been putting some content on there, some videos that I'm making now. There are going to be more of those that come out that help fathers and men. So we'll be adding some men on. I think that's going to start around September, maybe October too. Changing kind of that, and then we're going to get back to doing our small groups for Better Husbands, Better Fathers. And that's going to come in October also. So yeah, man, I'm here, man. I'm here to help any guy that wants to be helped, because in turn, man, it's helping me too. So
that's real, man. So yeah, y'all continue to stay tuned. I got I got some big interviews coming up in September, man. Something that I'm really excited about. So y'all continue to stay tuned to the podcast. Y'all will see this posted on YouTube. I'm trying to get better at posting my videos on YouTube, but y'all know it will always be posted on all the platforms where the podcast is posted. So if you don't see it on the YouTube, it's definitely posted on the podcast page. So y'all continue to stay tuned. Y'all continue to be encouraged. For every dad out there, remember, do not quit, and continue to push, man. We love y'all. You know, we're praying for y'all.
Absolutely.
Y'all ever need somebody, if y'all reach out to me anytime. If you got my number, hit me up. If you got my Facebook, inbox me. Find me on Instagram, whenever, man. Just I encourage dads out there, reach out. If you need help, don't ever be afraid to reach out to another dad. And, you know, when you got a brother that's calling you, if you need help, there's always somebody that's willing to help. So
absolutely.
If y'all need that, reach out, man. Find me, find my brother on Facebook at JR Mitchell.
Yep.
Yeah, man, that's it. Appreciate you, bro.
Instagram, any of those, man. And you can, like he said, podcast on all platforms. The website is www.meetthemitchells.us.
Okay.
So you can go there too, and our information to contact us is there too. Anything, and we always tell people, you know, we're a young couple who've been in it a long time, so you know, we're here to work with any young couples that want to know more, you know. Yeah. And my wife, I always, you know, bring my wife in when we talk with a couple, because she's got some insights as a woman that I don't have. Mm-hmm. And you know, together we do some great things and are able to help people as God wants us. So we're here, man. We're here for anybody who wants to be helped.
That's real, man. Like I say, man, appreciate you, big bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm here,
man. We out of here. It's Dad. Can we talk?
Yeah, man. Have a good one.
Yep.